Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English for Everything, the place where we learn English through natural conversations, simple explanations, and real life examples that help you speak with more confidence.
Yes, welcome back, everyone. Today's conversation is especially for learners who understand English when they listen, but when they try to speak, they suddenly feel nervous, confused, or afraid of making mistakes.
That is such a common problem, Emily, because many learners can watch English videos, understand movies, read comments, and even know a lot of vocabulary. But when someone asks them a simple question in English, their mind becomes completely blank.
Exactly. And the important thing to remember is that this does not mean your English is bad. It only means your brain needs more practice creating sentences, because speaking is not the same as listening or reading.
Before we go deeper into today's conversation, please subscribe to English for Everything, because we're creating these lessons to help you improve your speaking, listening, vocabulary, pronunciation, and confidence step by step.
Yes, and when you subscribe, you become part of our learning community, where mistakes are normal, practice is important, and every small sentence can take you closer to fluent English.
Emily, I think one of the biggest reasons learners feel nervous is that they believe they must speak perfect English from the very beginning. And because of that pressure, they don't speak at all.
You are absolutely right, Alex, because many learners spend months studying grammar rules, watching lessons, and collecting vocabulary. But they still avoid speaking because they are waiting for the magical day when they will feel completely ready.
And honestly, that day usually does not come by waiting. Because confidence is not something that appears before practice. Confidence is something that grows after you practice again and again.
That is a very important sentence for our listeners. So let me say it slowly. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes after speaking, even if your sentences are simple, imperfect, or a little slow in the beginning.
Yes, and this is why learners should stop thinking, first I will become fluent, then I will speak. And instead start thinking, first I will speak, and because of that, I will slowly become fluent.
That mindset can change everything, because when you allow yourself to speak with mistakes, you give your brain the chance to learn from real communication, not just from books or videos.
Let's imagine a learner named Sarah, who watches English podcasts every day and understands almost everything. But when she meets someone who speaks English, she becomes quiet because she is afraid people will judge her.
Sarah knows many words, she understands grammar, and she can even write good sentences. But when she speaks, she thinks too much about every word, and while she is thinking, the conversation moves forward without her.
That happens to so many people, and it can feel frustrating because inside your mind, you know what you want to say, but your mouth does not move as quickly as your thoughts.
The solution is not to force yourself to speak difficult English. The solution is to begin with useful, natural sentences that you can repeat often until they become automatic in your mind.
For example, instead of trying to say a long and complicated sentence, you can begin with something simple but natural like, I'm still learning English, so please speak a little slowly.
That sentence is powerful because it helps you communicate your situation politely, and it also gives the other person a clear reason to slow down and support you.
Listeners, repeat after me. I'm still learning English, so please speak a little slowly.
Beautiful. Now repeat this one. I understand you, but I need a little time to answer.
That sentence is very useful because sometimes you understand the question, but you need a few seconds to build your answer. And there is nothing wrong with taking a little time.
Exactly. And here is another one. Let me try to explain it in simple words.
I love that sentence because it gives you permission to speak simply. And simple English is not weak English. Simple English is clear English.
Many learners think they need advanced words to sound intelligent, but in real conversations, people usually prefer clear and natural sentences over difficult words that feel forced.
That is true because the purpose of English is communication, and communication means the other person understands your message without confusion.
Now let's continue with Sarah's story, because after months of staying quiet, she finally decides to practice speaking for only 5 minutes every day. And she starts by describing her daily routine out loud.
At first, Sarah feels strange because she is speaking alone in her room. But after a few days, her mouth becomes more comfortable with English sounds, and her brain starts creating sentences faster.
She does not speak perfect English, and sometimes she forgets words. But instead of stopping, she uses simple sentences like, "I don't know the exact word, but I can explain it."
That is another excellent sentence for learners, because when you forget a word, you don't need to panic. You can explain the idea using other words.
For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, "It is the thing we use when it is raining," and the other person will probably understand you.
Exactly, and honestly, sometimes explaining a forgotten word is better practice than simply remembering the word, because it teaches your brain how to survive in real conversations.
That is true. English speaking is not about being perfect. It is about staying in the conversation even when you don't know every word.
Now, let's do a natural role play for our listeners, and this role play will show how a learner can speak with confidence even when their English is not perfect.
Great idea! I will be the supportive friend, and you will be the English learner who is trying to speak more confidently.
Emily, I want to practice English with you, but I feel nervous because I know I will make mistakes, and I don't want to sound foolish.
Alex, you don't need to worry about sounding perfect, because the goal right now is not perfection. The goal is practice, and every time you speak, your confidence becomes a little stronger.
Okay, let me try to explain my day in English. Today, I woke up early because I wanted to finish my work before lunch. But after breakfast, I started using my phone and wasted too much time.
That was very good, Alex, because your sentence was natural, clear, and easy to understand. And even if there were small mistakes, your message was still successful.
Really, I thought I was speaking too slowly, and I was worried that my sentence was not perfect.
Speaking slowly is not a problem, especially when you are learning, because clear and slow English is much better than fast English that nobody can understand.
That makes sense. I think I should focus on speaking clearly first, and later, when I feel more comfortable, my speed will improve naturally.
Exactly, and that is a very smart way to learn, because fluency does not mean speaking fast. Fluency means expressing your ideas smoothly and clearly.
Listeners, did you notice how Emily did not interrupt every small mistake and instead focused on the message first? That is very important when you practice with someone.
Yes, because if someone corrects every single mistake while you are speaking, you may lose confidence. So it is better to speak first, finish your thought, and then correct one or two important mistakes.
Another mistake learners make is comparing themselves with people who have been speaking English for many years. And this comparison makes them feel bad about their own progress.
That is why learners should compare themselves with their own past version, not with someone else. Because if you can speak better than you did last month, that is real progress.
Maybe last month you could only say one sentence, but now you can explain your day, ask questions, and share your opinion. And that improvement is something you should respect.
Learning English is not a race where everyone reaches the finish line at the same time. It is a personal journey, and your job is to keep moving, even if your steps are small.
Now, let's give our listeners a simple daily speaking plan that they can follow without stress, because a clear plan makes practice easier.
The first step is to listen to English for 5 minutes, but don't listen passively like background noise. Listen carefully and notice useful sentences that you can use in your own life.
The second step is to repeat 3 useful sentences out loud. Because when you repeat sentences with your voice, your mouth, tongue, and brain all start working together.
The third step is to speak about your day for 1 or 2 minutes, even if nobody is listening. Because speaking alone is still real speaking practice.
And the fourth step is to record your voice once or twice a week. Because when you listen to yourself, you can notice your pronunciation, your speed, and the places where you need improvement.
But remember, when you listen to your own voice, don't hate it, because almost everyone feels strange when they hear their recorded voice. And that feeling is completely normal.
Yes, the first time I heard my recorded voice, I thought, wait, is that really me? So don't worry if you feel the same.
Exactly. The goal is not to judge yourself harshly. The goal is to understand your speaking and improve slowly.
And one more thing. Learners should build a small bank of ready sentences. Because when you already know useful sentences, speaking becomes much easier.
For example, you can memorize sentences like, in my opinion, I agree with you. I'm not sure about that. Can you explain it again? And that reminds me of something.
These sentences are like bridges in conversation because they help you move from one idea to another without stopping completely.
And when you use these sentences again and again, they become automatic, which means you don't need to think too much before saying them.
So if you are listening right now and you feel that your English speaking is weak, don't feel embarrassed because you are not alone and you are not stuck forever.
You can improve, but you need to stop waiting for perfect confidence and start practicing with the English you already have today.
Your first sentences may be slow, your grammar may not be perfect, and you may forget words. But if you keep speaking, those small efforts will become real confidence.
Before we finish, please subscribe to English for Everything, like this video, and comment below. I want to speak English with confidence, because writing that sentence is also a small step in your learning journey.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. And remember that English becomes easier when you use it every day, even for a few minutes.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and never be afraid of simple English, because simple English can still express powerful ideas.